Guys, welcome back to your channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Braum. The reason why we're talking about Braum is because I want to start giving you guys a bit more guides and strong picks for the upcoming Season 10 patch, which comes out on January 13th. And I suspect Braum will be one of the strongest and most common meta picks once the season starts. You don't believe in me? Just see what these future analysts and pros have to say.
Support who's recently received a lot of balance changes, and his name is Braum. Korean supports have been playing a lot of Braum recently, and they're convinced that he's now a super strong champion.
In the A tier, we have one new champion, which is Braum. Braum received a mini rework at the start of patch 9.24, and he's been doing a lot better. The changes made to his kit have been a net positive for him, and Braum mains seem to be pretty pleased. However, it does suck that there are no support items for full tank champs like Braum or Alistair, but I'm just happy they buffed him in the first place.
Our support S tier roster is looking like it's gonna be Janna, Brand, Leona, Nautilus, Soraka, Blitzcrank, Zyra, and Shaco. That means that for the first time in a very long time, Braum will actually be somewhat of a viable pick in solo queue, thanks to the buffs Riot gave him this patch to his survivability and his ult moving him from the Shadow Realm to B tier. Thing about Braum is that he is a peel support, but he wasn't that much tankier than things like Leona or Nautilus, who were able to also engage and set up picks way easier than Braum could. But with his increased survivability, he should have a place on the Rift again as a champion that you can stand behind to help keep carries like Ashe or Philios alive. So
as you can tell, future analysts and pros predict that Braum will be a very strong contender with the new season, and it's due to the recent changes he got in patch 9.2.4. This patch changed Braum's W and ultimate ability quite a bit, so Braum's new W is still the same. He can still jump to allies or do it to himself through leg, but now it relies more on scaling for his own armor and MR to give him even more. So now you don't have to max this ability second, as it scales more on the armor and MR that you have purchased. Now also allowing you to max your E second, which is much better since it reduces the damage by percentage and ups the duration. Braum's ult was also changed, so now instead of knocking all the enemies up, it only knocks the first enemy up for the full duration, and that full duration is also scaling to how far you are. So if you snipe and get at the end of the range, you'll be fully knocked up. But if you're close, it'll only knock them up very briefly, and it's also only to the first enemy, while the other ones take a minor knockup. This is why most people think Braum got a major nerf, but in reality, this change is okay. I mean, it's still not the greatest. Braum's old ult was much better, but it's the fact that Braum is now tanking, can do a little bit more damage and sustain a lane, that's making him way better. Is that seen a lot more, and Braum's main iconic stay is his passive, and that's why people want to take him into lane. Okay, let's get into the builds now. So for runes, you go two different rune setups. You go the standard Braum, which would be Guardian, Fawn of Life, Belt Plating, Overgrowth, Secondary Inspiration, Perfect Timing, and Minion Demilitarizer. Or you could go the second new emerging build that I'm seeing from Korea, and it's kind of fun and it works just as well. The Glacial Augment, Perfect Timing, Biscuit Delivery, Approach Velocity, and second Resolve, Fawn of Life, and Overgrowth. So the mainstay here is the Fawn of Life and Perfect Timing in both rune sets. They both synergize very well with Braum. Now I know what you're thinking, Perfect Timing on Braum? That doesn't make sense. You don't need the stopwatch. But a lot of people are now going Gargoyle Stoneplate in their Braum builds ever since this new W buff, since the W now gives more armor and MR based off the armor and MR you have. So make Stoneplate and your W have so much synergy, it's ridiculous how tanky you can get. But you gotta make sure you also pick up the Zeeks and Shurelya's, as both are key items on Braum. And I know what you're thinking, Shurelya's is kind of troll, right? Nowadays, since they've reworked Shurelya's to have health and no longer AP, the unique active is a 40% movement speed now. It helps so much for roaming as a support, but it's okay if you don't want to roam. You could just take out the Shurelya's and replace it with something else. All these items give so much synergy to Braum though, so this is my go-to cookie cutter build that you can always run. But feel free to make any other adjustments as you want, and I'll make sure to link below my actual build code so you can import the item set yourself into your own league. And that just about does it for me, guys. So I wanted to make my guides a little bit shorter and concise, just so you guys kind of have an idea of what to play and you don't have to watch too long. So I'm glad if you stuck all the way to the end of the video to see this part. And if you did, you know, like, comment, subscribe. It always helps me as much as you do, and I'll make sure to reply to every single comment out there. Now leave a suggestion for any champ or video idea that you want. I'll probably make it. Why don't see why not? And I hope you guys have a good New Year's. See you guys.